What if the very intelligence we've cherished for millennia, the foundation of human progress, is no longer exclusively human? For generations, this idea lived firmly within the realm of science fiction. It was a distant future we debated with popcorn and blockbuster movies, always believing our unique capacity for thought, creativity, and problem solving was our untouchable domain, our human spark. But what if that fundamental assumption, that comfort blanket of human exceptionalism, has quietly evaporated? What if a new form of intelligence has not only joined the playing field, but is rapidly redefining its rules, its players, and its very goals? Consider this. Reports from institutions like Goldman Sachs, not known for wild futurism, project that artificial intelligence could automate roughly 300 million full-time jobs globally. Not just factory assembly lines or routine clerical work that technology has traditionally streamlined. We're talking about sophisticated intellectual labor. These jobs rely on abstract reasoning, complex data interpretation, strategic planning, and even creative output. Think legal analysis, software development, financial modeling, and content creation. Tasks many of us believed were permanently tethered to the human mind. This isn't a distant sci-fi future we're idly speculating about. This is here. It is now. It is actively, right this very moment, reshaping our global economy, our personal careers, and frankly, even how our brains function. It's changing how we learn, how we work, how we interact, and how we define value. The question of what makes us uniquely human, what skills truly matter, and what constitutes a fulfilling and impactful life in this new landscape has stopped being theoretical. The future of human value starts today. It started yesterday, in fact, and it's accelerating with breathtaking speed. To understand the enormity of what's happening, we need to shift our perspective. What we are witnessing with artificial intelligence is not merely another technological upgrade. It's not just faster internet or a fancier smartphone. This is something far more profound, a civilizational transition. Think back to the agricultural revolution, when humanity moved from nomadic hunter-gatherer societies to settled farming communities. That wasn't just about a new tool, the plow. It fundamentally reshaped how we lived, organized ourselves, built cities, ate, and valued things. Then came the Industrial Revolution, moving us from agrarian life to factory towns and mass production. That shift wasn't just about the steam engine. It redefined labor, education, social structures, and global power dynamics. The AI revolution stands on par with these seismic shifts. It is redefining how value is created, distributed, and consumed on a global scale. It's not just tweaking existing systems. It's rewriting the operating system of human civilization. We are moving into an era where the very definition of intelligence is being expanded, challenged, and in some cases dissolved. For a long time, the distinction between human and artificial intelligence felt clear-cut. Humans were the creators, the thinkers, the innovators. Machines were tools, extensions of our will. But now, those lines are blurring at an astonishing pace. We are seeing AI systems that can generate compelling prose, compose original music, design intricate architectural plans, and even discover new scientific compounds. These systems aren't just following instructions. They're demonstrating capabilities that, just a few years ago, we would have unhesitatingly categorized as creative, intuitive, or even genius. This blurring is not leading to human obsolescence, at least not in the sense of a dystopian science fiction flick where robots take over. Instead, it is ushering in an era of unprecedented human-AI collaboration, a new kind of partnership. This partnership will fundamentally redefine what work means for businesses and individuals across virtually every sector. Your future job, your future business, your future creative project will likely involve deep, integrated collaboration with AI. This changes not just how you do things, but what you do. It redefines what skills are valuable, what problems are worth solving, and what it means to be intelligent in a practical, everyday sense. Perhaps the most disorienting aspect of this civilizational shift is its speed. The agricultural revolution took millennia. The industrial revolution unfolded over centuries. This AI revolution feels like it is happening in real time, perhaps even faster than our collective ability to fully grasp its implications. Many of us, even those acutely aware of technology, still operate with a mental model that suggests AI is coming soon or is something confined to specialized labs. We see the headlines, hear the buzzwords, but deep down, we might not quite grasp its full extent, its immediate reality. The change isn't just coming, it is already deeply embedded. It is affecting corporate strategies, driving multi-billion-dollar investment decisions, and reshaping individual career paths and educational curricula right now. Venture capitalists are pouring unprecedented sums into AI startups. Governments are scrambling to regulate something they barely understand. Businesses are either furiously integrating AI or rapidly falling behind. If you are an entrepreneur, an investor, a professional, or simply a thoughtful individual trying to navigate your place in the world, this is no longer a topic for abstract debate. This is the new reality. It demands active engagement and a radical reevaluation of what we think we know about intelligence, value, and what it truly means to be human in this rapidly evolving landscape. We are not just watching a play unfold. We are on the stage, whether we realize it or not. The curtains have already opened. The question is, are we ready for our part? As we stand at the precipice of this civilizational transition, a most immediate and impactful question arises. What specifically is changing about how we work, how we learn, and how we create value? The answer lies in understanding the new frontier of automation. For centuries, technological advancements primarily focused on automating physical tasks. This ranged from the invention of the loom that sped up textile production to Henry Ford's assembly line and industrial robots that now build our cars. The fear of job displacement often centered on blue-collar labor. Even the early waves of digital technology, while impacting clerical work and data entry, still largely dealt with repetitive, rule-based, physical, or quasi-physical operations. But the AI revolution is different. This time, the frontier of automation has shifted dramatically to intellectual labor. We are now seeing AI systems that can perform tasks once considered the exclusive domain of highly skilled cognitive workers. Think about legal analysis. AI can review millions of documents, identify relevant precedents, and even draft initial legal briefs with astounding speed and accuracy. In software development, AI can generate code snippets, debug complex programs, and even write entire functional applications based on natural language prompts. For data interpretation, AI can ingest vast, unstructured datasets, find hidden patterns, generate sophisticated reports, and predict market trends that would take human analysts weeks, months, or even years. These are not just tools that assist humans. These are systems increasingly capable of performing the core cognitive functions of these professions. This is why institutions like Goldman Sachs are projecting such staggering numbers of potential job transformations. The very bedrock of our professional lives, our thinking, problem-solving, and strategic decision-making, is now directly in the path of algorithmic efficiency. This unprecedented capability naturally leads to a profound and unsettling question, often whispered in hushed tones or shouted in dystopian films. If AI can handle so many cognitive tasks, what then is our unique purpose? Are we heading toward a quote-unquote WALL-E scenario where humanity becomes complacent, intellectually atrophied, served by machines, and slowly but surely rendered obsolete? It's a valid fear, one that compels us to redefine human purpose. But this fear, while understandable, often misses a critical nuance. Human obsolescence is not the inevitable outcome. Instead, it forces us to elevate our understanding of what it means to be human and what constitutes truly valuable work. If machines can efficiently handle tasks that require immense processing power, pattern recognition, and logical deduction, then our purpose shifts away from mere task execution. We are compelled to move beyond the easily delegable. This is where new roles, ethical challenges, and profoundly creative pursuits will emerge. Our unique contribution will not be in simply finding the optimal solution, but in defining the right problems to solve, navigating the ethical complexities of an AI-driven world, and designing interdisciplinary systems that blend human wisdom with machine efficiency. Most importantly, it will be in pursuing forms of creativity and connection that are intrinsically human. We become the orchestrators, the visionaries, the meaning makers, grappling with ambiguity and uncertainty in ways that machines, by their very nature, cannot. This brings us to a crucial distinction: the uniquely human value that AI cannot replicate, the value of the journey versus the destination. AI is an unparalleled destination finder. Give it a clearly defined goal, such as finding the shortest route, calculating the optimal investment strategy, or generating a coherent piece of text about a specific topic, and it will relentlessly, efficiently, and often flawlessly reach that destination. It does not value the process of getting there, it values the arrival. The iterative learning, the mistakes made along the way, the dead ends, the sudden insights born from prolonged struggle, and the narrative surrounding a solution, these are all irrelevant to an AI seeking an endpoint. Its journey is simply a calculation, a pathway. Humans, however, derive profound meaning, develop resilience, and foster genuine innovation precisely through this journey-oriented thinking. Consider a scientist working on a cure for a disease. The destination is the cure. However, the true breakthroughs, the deep understanding and the development of new methodologies come from years of failed experiments, unexpected observations, late-night discussions, and moments of doubt and perseverance. Or think of an artist. The destination is the finished masterpiece, but the value is in the countless sketches, the discarded ideas, the struggle with the medium, and the emotional expression that imbues the work with soul. These journeys build our character, expand our perspective, and provide us with intellectual depth and emotional wisdom that cannot be algorithmically shortcutted. AI can generate 1,000 technically perfect paintings, but it cannot know the experience of creating one. It is the human capacity to embrace the struggle, to find meaning in the process, and to learn and grow through the uncertainty that becomes our ultimate differentiator. In this context, it might surprise you to learn that one of the most powerful and often underestimated cognitive gyms for the AI age is something many dismiss as mere entertainment: gaming. We are not talking about passive screen time or the addictive pull of gambling, but the active and often intense mental engagement demanded by complex video games. Consider brain plasticity and strategic thinking. Research, including neuroimaging studies, increasingly reveals that engaging with strategic video games actively exercises the brain. It's a workout for your neural networks. When you play a complex strategy game, you are constantly evaluating information, predicting opponent moves, managing resources, and making rapid decisions under pressure. You are adapting your tactics in real time, fostering new neural connections, improving problem-solving abilities, and enhancing cognitive agility. You're learning to think several steps ahead, weigh probabilities, and develop contingency plans, skills directly transferable to complex business strategy, financial planning, or even scientific research. It's training your brain to be quick, nimble, and predictive. Beyond raw processing power, consider adaptability and rule evolution. Modern games, especially open-world epics or online multiplayer experiences, are rarely static. They are living, breathing digital ecosystems with continuous updates, patches, new content, and evolving meta strategies. The rules you learned last week might be entirely different next month. An overpowered character might get nerfed. A new item might change the game's economy. A new map might demand entirely different tactical approaches. This constant flux forces players to be incredibly adaptable. You cannot just memorize a fixed set of optimal strategies. You must continuously question existing patterns, experiment with new approaches, analyze feedback, and generate novel solutions. This isn't just entertainment, it's a rigorous training ground for navigating a global economy that is constantly being reshaped by AI, where the rules of industries, markets, and even entire job categories are in continuous evolution. Those who can quickly adapt, unlearn, and relearn will thrive. Finally, gaming, particularly cooperative multiplayer games, offers a powerful crucible for developing cultural and social intelligence. Think of massive multiplayer online role-playing games or team-based esports. These are not solitary pursuits. They demand sophisticated social interaction, forming teams, negotiating roles, resolving conflicts over strategy or resources, understanding diverse communication styles, and collaborating towards a common goal. When you are coordinating a raid with 25 other players from different time zones, cultural backgrounds, and native languages, you are practicing leadership, followership, persuasion, and empathy on a global scale. You learn to read subtle cues, adjust your communication for clarity, and build consensus within diverse groups. This is practical cultural intelligence in action. It teaches you how to effectively collaborate and build rapport in a world that is more interconnected and diverse than ever before. These are the soft skills, often dismissed, that become profoundly valuable when AI handles the hard data. This ability to leverage technology for individual amplification is also fueling the rise of the, quote, one-person unicorn and the broader creator economy. For generations, to build a company or create a significant impact, you needed capital, infrastructure, and a team. But now, with the advent of platforms like Roblox Studio, which allows individuals to build and monetize entire virtual worlds, or YouTube, where a single creator can build a global media empire, and especially with no-code and low-code AI tools, the barriers to creation and production have collapsed. AI is the ultimate amplifier of individual creative output. A single individual, armed with an AI assistant, can now perform tasks that once required a small team of engineers, designers, or content strategists. An entrepreneur can use AI to generate business plans, design marketing copy, automate customer service, and analyze market data, all without needing to hire a full department. A content creator can use AI to assist with video editing, script refinement, voiceovers, or even generating entire animated sequences, exponentially increasing their output and reach. This phenomenon of the one-person unicorn challenges traditional corporate structures. It proves that immense value, innovation, and revenue can be generated by highly leveraged individuals. It shifts the paradigm from consumption to production, empowering anyone with an idea and the willingness to learn to become a builder and innovator, fundamentally reshaping how value is created and distributed in the global economy. However, alongside this immense opportunity, there lies a peril. The peril of skipping and cheat codes in life. Draw a parallel to gaming. When you skip story cinematics, you might get to the action faster, but you miss the lore, the character development, the emotional context, and the very meaning of the game's narrative. When you use cheat codes, you bypass the challenges, the skill acquisition, the satisfaction of overcoming obstacles, and ultimately, the mastery that comes from persistent effort. In life, a destination-only mindset, constantly seeking shortcuts or instant gratification, is increasingly enabled by AI. Why read a dense report when AI can summarize it in bullet points? Why grapple with a complex problem when AI can provide a quick answer? Why write original content when AI can generate it for you? While seemingly efficient, this approach robs one of the rich learning experiences, the intellectual depth, and the resilience gained from grappling with complex, unresolved problems. It bypasses the journey of discovery, the iterative struggle, and the personal growth that comes from overcoming genuine challenges. Constantly seeking the easy way, the instant answer, or the shortcut, while delivering immediate results, leads to a profound sense of intellectual and emotional meaninglessness. It starves the very human capacity for deep thought, creativity, and the joy of genuine accomplishment. Capacities the AI age demands we cultivate more, not less. We become consumers of conclusions rather than architects of understanding. In doing so, we diminish our own uniquely human value. As we stand at the precipice of this civilizational transition, the profound shifts extend far beyond the immediate transformation of jobs. The very fabric of human experience is being rewoven, impacting how we define success, how we educate our children, and even the nature of our social bonds. Consider first how we are redefining success, education, and the role of experience. For generations, our educational paradigms were built on the industrial model, memorizing facts, following instructions, and providing quick, single answers. Success was often measured by accumulated knowledge and adherence to established processes. But in the AI era, artificial intelligence can instantly access, synthesize, and even generate vast amounts of information. That traditional model crumbles. True success shifts dramatically. It is no longer about knowing the facts, it is about asking the right questions. It is not about finding the quickest answer, it is about developing the critical thinking skills to evaluate those answers. It is also about developing the complex problem-finding abilities to identify challenges that artificial intelligence has not even conceived of yet. It is about continuous adaptation, the capacity to learn, unlearn, and relearn at an unprecedented pace. In the best case scenario, this transformation could lead to an educational renaissance. Classrooms become incubators for creativity, critical thought, and ethical reasoning, moving beyond being factories for rote memorization. Mentors and educators, freed from delivering easily accessible information, can now focus on fostering wisdom, ethical guidance, and abstract problem solving, nurturing the uniquely human capacities that AI cannot replicate. The role of the senior mentor also evolves. While AI democratizes access to knowledge, the elder's experience in navigating ambiguity, understanding human motivation, and offering nuanced judgment becomes even more invaluable. We could see a generation of individuals who are not just knowledgeable, but profoundly wise and adaptable. However, the worst case scenario is bleak. If our educational systems fail to adapt, if we continue to prioritize easily quantifiable and automatable skills, we risk creating entire generations of workers with obsolete capabilities. These individuals would be unprepared for the demands of the new economy. Without a focus on critical thinking and ethical reasoning, we risk producing individuals who are easily swayed by misinformation, passively accepting AI-generated outputs without question. Next, let us address the paradoxical effect of hyper-individualization driven by artificial intelligence and ubiquitous technology. This often leads to a new loneliness and shifting social connectivity. On one hand, tools like messaging apps and AI-powered personal assistants offer unparalleled convenience. They streamline our lives and help us connect with specific individuals across vast distances. Yet, this convenience can come at a cost. We've all seen the phenomenon of phone phobia, where individuals prefer digital interaction over face-to-face conversations, or where virtual communities replace tangible, local connections. This reliance can lead to new forms of social isolation and fragmentation. It reduces the spontaneous, serendipitous interactions that build strong community bonds. It also fosters a sense of disconnection, even amidst constant digital noise. In a positive future, artificial intelligence could, ironically, free up human time and energy from mundane tasks, allowing us to invest more deeply in authentic human connection. AI could help us discover and facilitate real-world communities based on shared passions, streamline logistics for meetups, thereby enhancing social bonds rather than diminishing them. It could even provide tools to analyze communication patterns and help us understand each other better, fostering empathy and resolving conflicts. But the darker side paints a picture of deepening isolation. If individuals increasingly exist within personalized algorithmic bubbles, fed content and interactions tailored precisely to their existing preferences, shared cultural touchstones could erode. This could lead to a highly fragmented society where common ground becomes scarce, empathy diminishes, and the bonds of community fray. This necessitates entirely new strategies for fostering genuine human connection in a world increasingly driven by personalized algorithms. Then there is the enduring power of human storytelling. Artificial intelligence can now generate vast amounts of content, articles, poems, and even entire film scripts and musical compositions. The sheer volume of AI-generated content is staggering. But here, a crucial distinction emerges. While artificial intelligence can produce quantity, the quality, the resonance, and the emotional depth of a story remain profoundly human. The ability to craft compelling narratives that speak to universal human experiences, to imbue them with genuine emotion, and to connect with diverse audiences on a deeply human level becomes more, not less, valuable. Think of the difference between an AI-generated film, which might be technically perfect but emotionally inert, and a human-created masterpiece that moves you to tears or inspires you to action. The human touch provides compelling narrative depth because it springs from lived experience, empathy, and an understanding of the subtle nuances of human existence. The best-case scenario sees artificial intelligence as a powerful co-creator, an amplifying tool for human storytellers. Imagine a writer using AI to generate countless plot variations, character descriptions, or even entire first drafts, then applying their unique human voice, emotional intelligence, and narrative genius to refine, sculpt, and infuse the story with soul. This could lead to an explosion of deeply personal and impactful narratives, reaching wider audiences than ever before. In the worst case, we could drown in a sea of mediocre, algorithmically optimized content. Human stories might struggle to find an audience amidst the noise. The very concept of artistic originality could be challenged, leading to a homogenization of culture and a loss of truly unique voices. Thoughtful individuals might consider supporting companies that focus on empowering human creators with AI tools rather than replacing them. Finally, we must adapt from shallow to deep diligence. Shallow diligence is the act of blindly following routines, adhering to established rules, or performing tasks simply because that is how it has always been done. It is process-oriented without being purpose-driven. In the past, this was often sufficient, even necessary, for efficient operation. But the AI age renders shallow diligence obsolete. Artificial intelligence excels at precisely this kind of routine, rule-based execution. Deep diligence, on the other hand, is the persistent, creative, and often uncomfortable process of questioning, adapting, and innovating in the face of ambiguity. It is the willingness to challenge assumptions, to deconstruct problems, to engage with uncertainty, and to continuously reevaluate what is still valid. This is crucial in a world where the ground beneath our feet is constantly shifting. The artificial intelligence age demands this kind of iterative problem solving over rigid adherence to old, automated ways. It favors those who embrace the journey of discovery rather than merely seeking the quickest route to a predefined destination. The best outcome is a society where artificial intelligence frees humanity from the drudgery of shallow diligence, allowing us to dedicate our cognitive power to the grand challenges, the complex ethical dilemmas, and the profound creative pursuits that demand deep diligence. This could unlock unprecedented levels of human innovation and societal progress. Conversely, the worst outcome sees humanity becoming intellectually lazy. We could become overly reliant on artificial intelligence to provide answers and lose the capacity for deep diligence. This intellectual atrophy could leave us vulnerable to systemic failures, manipulative narratives, or simply an inability to adapt when artificial intelligence itself encounters novel and unpredictable challenges.
The AI revolution is not just changing what we do, it is fundamentally changing how we think, how we learn, and how we interact with the world and each other.
Our uniquely human capacity for journey-oriented thinking, for deep problem solving that embraces ambiguity, and for cultural adaptability in an interconnected world is not being diminished. Instead, it is amplified and made paramount. The skills that cultivate empathy, foster critical thinking, and allow us to navigate complex social dynamics are no longer soft skills. They are the bedrock of future human value. The key takeaway for everyone, from professionals to students, is to embrace the unresolved. The most valuable skill in the artificial intelligence age is not finding quick answers, because artificial intelligence can often do that faster and more accurately. Instead, it is the profound willingness to engage with complex problems for which there are no easy solutions. It is deep diligence, the courage to grapple with uncertainty, to iterate, to learn from mistakes, and to continuously question the status quo. That is where human innovation and purpose will truly flourish. We stand at a pivotal moment. This future is not a passive event to be observed, but an active landscape to be shaped. Therefore, we encourage you to actively engage with new technologies, not as a threat, but as an opportunity. See diverse experiences, including the strategic engagement of gaming, as powerful avenues for cognitive and social development. Cultivate a mindset of continuous learning, critical adaptation, and ethical discernment. The future belongs not to those who fear artificial intelligence, nor to those who blindly trust it. It belongs to those who are curious, resilient, and willing to navigate the journey, not just chase the destination. Your brain, your games, and your story are more valuable than ever. This is because they represent the enduring, irreplaceable essence of what it means to be human.